What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel where today I'm going to be ranking 93 different movies for Valentine's Day. There's romance movies and then there's rom-coms because rom-coms I feel are just fantastic. And I know Valentine's Day is all about love and romance, but a good rom-com is always better than romance, in my opinion. So there are 93 movies, like I said, and the way I rank, of course, goes from S to A, B, C, D, and F. There's no E in this video. S means it is top tier. It is the best of the best. The creme de la creme. F means I wish I was shot in the head while watching it. Basically, there's something similar to that. And really, there's some of those in here. Some of these movies suck. All 93 of these movies are movies that I own on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. So I don't think I have anything from like Netflix or anything on here. So stuff like The Kissing Booth or I don't know any other of the 300 they've probably made in the last year are not on here. Tons of classics though, some stuff that maybe you never heard of. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I tried getting these in here in alphabetical order. I'm not sure if they are. They actually do look like they are, for the most part. So that's pretty dope. I tried my best. But let's go ahead and start it out with 1 Mile to You. This movie's good just because it's based on, a couple in high school. The boy runs track and the girl passes away. And he's just, every time he runs, he like thinks of her and it makes him stronger. It's a good movie. I found it at the Dollar Tree for $1 years ago. I would probably put it in B tier. It's not anything like over the top incredible, but it's definitely a fun time. It's something you can watch and you're like, all right, it was enjoyable. Then we've got 10 Things I Hate About You. Guys, this is an S tier movie right off the rip. There are quite a lot of S tiers. I love romance movies and rom-coms, so this is like so rom-coms hit that comedy factor, and I love comedy, so a lot of rom-coms are just gonna hit that S tier. So let's go ahead and 10 Things I Hate About You. Just watched it earlier this week. Let's get it out of the way. One of the greatest movies there is. It's Julia Stiles, Heath Ledger. It just wonderful, fantastic. There's nothing bad about this movie. One of the best that there is. 13 going on 30. This movie's okay. It's not my favorite just because I hate Mark Ruffalo, and he is sadly in this movie. But it's not a bad movie at all, and I think that the child actress that they use looks so much like Jennifer Garner that it's insane. I'm gonna put this in A tier. It's not my favorite movie, but it's a good one to watch every once in a while. I've probably seen it 6 or 7 times myself. It's a good time. Then we have 50 First Dates. To me, this is S tier. I'm going to keep it behind 10 Things I Hate About You. But growing up, Adam Sandler was always the key ingredient to a family movie night. And I've watched this movie at least 100 times. I can go word for word with so much of this movie. It is insane. So 50 First Dates, absolutely S tier. Up next, we have 500 Days of Summer. This is what? Zooey Deschanel and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. I'm putting this one in C tier. This is the first C tier movie. Tons of people love this movie, and I just don't care for it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays a guy that falls in love with this girl, and they work together, and it's just, I don't know. It's just like, it goes back and forth too much between like the beginning of the relationship and then the end of the relationship, because 500 days, girl's named Summer, and so it's like between the 500 days of them being together, and it's just really, I feel like the movie could have been done better cinematography wise. Like, it's just like all over the place. That's just me. Up next, we've got A Guy Thing. This movie. So, all right, this is a romantic comedy movie that is the most early 2000s male directed movie ever. Like, it's actually, like, all right, I love a really ridiculous over the top comedy, but this movie is just like, what the fuck? Like, it's weird. It's a weird one. I'm gonna put it in D tier just because it's not the worst. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. Which sucks because I really like Julia Stiles, who's in this movie, and Selma Blair is a great actress. And then we've got, I don't even know my boy's name, the dude that plays Earl, and My Name is Earl. I don't remember his name. But we then have A Lot Like Love. Ashton Kutcher is in this one. It's a great movie. It's enjoyable. Very real. But it's not like over the top great. I'll put it in B tier in front of 1 Mile to You. Just because I enjoy it, but it's nothing like over the top, insanely incredible. We then have About Last Night, and now this is the original one with Rob Lowe in it. This is a great movie, but it's not anything S tier wise to me. I'll put it in A tier in front of 13 Going on 30. I've only seen About Last Night one time, but it's got 0 Mark Ruffalo's in it, so I enjoy it. More so than 13 Going on 30. But then we have the remake of About Last Night, and this one has Kevin Hart in it, and honestly, I think it's just as good. So I'm going to also put this in A tier in front of 13 Going on 30, but behind the original, just because I feel like the original always deserves credit over a remake, even if the remake is slightly better. But like both of these movies are wonderful, great times, great movies to watch. It's a great time. We talking about time, About Time. So this movie, I don't a lot of people love this one, and I don't like it that much. So this guy basically can go through time, and it's just like through his life, and it's just like really dumb. It really is. I'll put this in C tier behind 500 Days of Summer. After About Time, we've got All About Steve, and this one has Bradley Cooper and Sandra Bullock, and you expect this movie to be incredible, but this is the first F of the day. All About Steve is one of the worst movies with a good cast I have ever seen. I remember watching it with my family and just being like, why is Sandra Bullock so annoying? It's awful. It's a terrible movie. If you've watched it, you understand. I don't know. If you enjoyed it, tell me in the comment section, because I don't get it. I really don't. All Summer's End. This is about a teenage relationship. It's okay. It's nothing special. I'd put it in C tier behind About Time. I watched it once a couple years ago. It's nothing crazy. Aloha. This is, what is it? Bradley Cooper and Emma Stone. It's a good movie. I would put it in B tier probably. In front of 1 Mile to You, behind A Lot Like Love. It's nothing insane over the top. They're in Hawaii. Bradley Cooper plays like an real big military guy, I guess, and they needed him to bring him back because he's the only guy that knows what he's doing in this situation. And Emma Stone is this young, I don't even know what she is in the Army. I don't remember her rank. I don't want to get it wrong. But it's a fun time, but it's nothing over the top incredible. Along Came Polly is a great movie. Jennifer Aniston and Ben Stiller. A great time. I would put it in A tier behind 13 Going on 30, though. Not S tier, but definitely a great romantic comedy. I enjoy it wholeheartedly. We then get America's Sweethearts, which is, oh God, I forget the main girl's name, the main actress in it. I feel really bad. But it's John Cusack, and then I know Billy Crystal is in it. And it's a good movie. It is. It's a great time because it's like it's a former couple that are both big stars, and they get back together just for like a charade, and it's a really, really good time. I really enjoy it. Billy Crystal's kind of like like the manager of them both for the whole thing. It's really, really cool. I would probably put this in B tier, at the top of B tier. I don't know why. I've only seen it once, but I really genuinely do enjoy it. And it's something that nobody ever talks about. Nobody ever talks about this movie. Up next is An American in Paris, and this movie's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm putting it at the bottom of C tier. It's old. It's a classic. Gene Kelly is in it, but like, I don't like it that much. It's got classic scenes. People like, ask your parents, ask your grandparents. People know what An American in Paris is. I'm just not the biggest fan of it. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's more musical than anything else. It's ah. Then we get The Best of Me, and I've seen this movie once, but it is a good time. I would put it in B tier, behind Aloha. It's not as enjoyable as Aloha, but it's worth being in B tier. The Best of Me. We then get Bewitched, which is more comedy than anything, and it's based off the old TV show from what, the 50s and 60s. The movie is bad. It's bad. It's a lot like A Guy Thing. I'll put it behind A Guy Thing. D tier. Not a great movie at all. Up next is The Big Sick, which was the first Amazon Prime movie that I ever really wanted to see. I bought this from a Redbox on DVD years ago, and it is genuinely a very good movie. I'm putting this in A tier, in front of 13 Going on 30, behind About Last Night. Genuinely such a good movie. I actually want to go rewatch this now that I'm talking about it, but it is so good. It's on Amazon Prime. It was like a Prime original, and then they put it out on Blu-ray and DVD. Great movie. After that, we get another Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore movie, Blended, and unlike 50 First Dates, it's not S tier. I'm going to put Blended down in B tier, and I'm going to put it in front of The Best of Me, but behind Aloha. Blended is more comedy than anything. Really, it's very, very low romance, more so comedy, but I still genuinely enjoy this movie. And it was kind of like, the third movie in the Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore trilogy, because they were in The Wedding Singer, they were in 50 First Dates, and then Blended. And Blended is the worst of those three movies, but it's still a fun time, still definitely worth watching. And yeah, every time I watch this, I wait for Terry Crews, because Terry Crews in this movie particularly is hysterical. So, up next is Blue Valentine, with Michelle Williams. This movie is, wow. Ryan Gosling is also in this movie. Sorry, totally forgot about Ryan Gosling. But Blue Valentine, did not expect it to be as, real as it was. It was very, very real. Not at all, Hollywoodified. Because it wasn't really a Hollywood movie. It was more, indie, I guess. But it's such a good movie. If you've never seen it, it's rated R, or actually it's unrated. I'm not sure if there's a rated R version or not, but there's a lot of nudity in it. There's a lot of sexual intercourse scenes in it, but it's a very, very good movie. Just about a couple and how they met and where they're at now, how their lives have changed as they've gotten older. It is a very good movie, and I very truly enjoy it. I'm not going to put it in S tier. But I will put it at the very bottom of A tier. Just because S tier, I feel it really needs to be the best of the best. And there were things in Blue Valentine that I feel like could have been better or didn't need to be in there, or, you know what I mean? It wasn't my favorite viewing experience. But it nonetheless A tier. Up next, we've got Gerard Butler and Jennifer Aniston in The Bounty Hunter. This is just a mid rom-com type of movie. I would put it in C tier at the top of it. It's not anything incredible. I don't know. It's a fun time, but I watched it twice ever, and I feel like I don't need to watch it again. You know what I mean? Up next is Bridget Jones' Diary. And again, this is one that people love this movie. People love this movie. And I don't get it. It's Renee Zellweger, Hugh Grant, and Colin Firth are the three big names in this. It's C tier. It's C tier behind Bounty Hunter, in front of 500 Days of Summer. It's not anything incredible. Casablanca, another one. It's a classic, but it's not anything insane for me. Like, I've watched it twice. Nothing has changed opinion-wise. I will put it in C tier gladly in front of An American in Paris, but I am not putting it higher. I don't care. I don't care if Casablanca is your favorite movie of all time. My tier list says it's C tier. It's mid. There's better movies. I would rather watch 10 Things I Hate About You 4 times in a row than watch Casablanca once. That's why there's an S tier, and that's why there's a C tier. Clueless. Just saw this for the first time ever, and I'm fucking clueless because who likes this movie? This movie's weird. First off, we've got Brittany Murphy. She's fantastic in this movie. But then there's Alicia Silverstone and Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's first ever movie. Technically, it's his first ever movie, but Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers released before it, even though it was filmed after Clueless. So the Halloween movie got the introducing Paul Rudd, but Clueless was his first big movie. This movie's weird because Alicia Silverstone and Paul Rudd's characters are stepbrother and stepsister, and they get together. And it's just really weird because Silverstone's character is a high school student, and the brother is a college student, so it's like, not only is it an adult with a minor, but it's step-siblings who grew up together at least for a couple of years while they were younger, and that's just weird to me. Clueless is a still not a terrible movie, don't get me wrong. It's still not a terrible movie, but it's C tier at the top. It's C tier for me. Just because it's like, why would you ruin a good movie and then give the sister and brother a relationship? It's weird. Like, what the fuck is this? Game of Thrones? It's just weird. Up next, we've got Crazy Rich Asians. I saw this a couple of months ago for the first time ever, and I love this movie. It is genuinely a very good movie about, going and meeting a family, having to get the acceptance of course, your soon-to-be husband's mother, grandmother. It's wonderful. It's great. And it shows, the real life stuff. And obviously, the fact that the husband's life and family are all rich, that's not always the case. But what she goes through to try and be accepted by the family, it happens all the time. And it's very, very good. Very, very well done. This is an A-tier movie in front of 13 Going on 30, in front of The Big Sick. Great movie. It's not S tier, but Crazy Rich Asians is definitely A tier. One of my more favorite movies out of the 93 that there are here. Up next is Crazy Stupid Love. And guys, I'm not going to lie, this movie doesn't do it for me. I'll put it at the bottom of B tier. It's just, it's very close to being a very mid movie. It's just, I don't remember a whole lot about it. That's the worst part. It's like, I've watched it 4 times, and I just don't care. I just don't care. It's not terrible, but I just don't care. It is probably going to be the last movie in B tier this entire video. So yeah. Dear John, this is okay. I remember when this came out when I was younger. It's a good movie, but it's nothing insane. I would put this one in A tier in front of Blue Valentine. It's not like over the top great. It's gonna be one of the lower A tiers at the end, but it's still definitely worth an A tier. Watch the movie. It's a good time. Dirty Dancing. Yo, I watched this with my mother for the first time ever, and I'm just like, Ah, man. What the fuck is this movie? I don't get it. I don't get the love. It wasn't my era. Um, it's it's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a great one. I would rather watch Aloha than Dirty Dancing. I'm putting Dirty Dancing in B tier. Even though people love it and they're going to want S tier, I don't care. I don't care. Up next, we've got Down with Love, which is Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger. It's not the greatest movie ever. I don't like it that much. C tier, I'll put it behind About Time in C tier. I'm just not a big fan of Renee Zellweger. I don't know. I just don't like her movies. Up next, we've got The Duff. And this movie is actually a lot better than I expected it to be. I'd put it in B tier in front of 1 Mile to You. Definitely not like an over-the-top incredible movie, but more enjoyable than I expected. We then have Elizabethtown, which I fully expected to enjoy because Kirsten Dunst is in it, and I've always loved her as a kid growing up, and I just thought she was great because she was in my favorite movie of all time, Small Soldiers. She was in Spider-Man trilogy. Just always loved her, you know? She was in Tower of Terror, like the movies I grew up with that I really, really enjoyed. This movie doesn't do it for me. I don't know why. I've watched it twice, and it just does not get the job done. I would put this in front of Down with Love in C tier. People really enjoy this movie, and I'm sorry for those of you that do, but C tier is where it's at. It's just not one of those movies high up on my list. Up next, we have Every Day. I saw this for the first time ever this past year. And basically, this girl falls in love with somebody who changes bodies every day. Like, it's like a random person's body. Like, I guess their mind just transfers. And it's really an odd premise, but it's a new premise. It's a premise I enjoyed. Story-wise, it's enjoyable. Confusing, not confusing, but like weird. You know what I mean? Just because it's a different person, it's the same person, but in a different human's body with a different voice. They've got like every single day, and it's really just odd. It is. I would probably put this in C tier behind Clueless because I enjoyed it, but it's odd. I won't lie. Then there's Everything, and this movie is good. I enjoy this movie. I'm not going to put it in A tier. I'm going to put it in B tier, behind A Lot Like Love. It is a very good movie about a girl that can't go in the outside world. She gets very sick very easily, has an autoimmune disorder, falls in love with the boy next door. Great movie. I'm pretty sure it came out when I was in high school or like just got out of high school, and I was just like, damn, that's a I was watching, not Marvel movies for the first time or not Halloween scary movies for the first time, and I was like, damn, this is actually an enjoyable movie, so it's a good time. The Fault in Our Stars. All right, finally we go back to S tier. The Fault in Our Stars is absolutely S tier. I'm putting it at the top of S tier, even in front of the 10 Things I Hate About You. The Fault in Our Stars is such a good movie. I remember watching it for the first time ever, and I was just like, damn. Like, not always the greatest endings, It was very real. And I enjoyed that about this movie. The Fault in Our Stars, absolutely S tier romance film. Great movie. Up next is 5 Feet Apart. Can't remember the female in this movie, but I think it's Cole Sprouse. One of the Sprouse twins from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody movie or shows. Basically, they're both, sickly people. They have to keep themselves away from one another. Because if they get too close, they can actually hurt one another with the disease that they have. It's like really rare. It's an enjoyable movie, but it's nothing super great. Very similar to Everything's premise. How there's, someone with an autoimmune disorder, if they get too close to other people, they can get sick and die. I would put this one in B tier in front of 1 Mile to You. Just because I enjoy it. But I felt like it was too similar to Everything. And I don't remember which one was made first, but I just enjoy Everything more. It was the one I saw first. So yeah. Up next is The 5-Year Engagement. This is more of comedy than anything else, and it's alright. I would put this in mid-tier, in front of Bridget Jones' Diary, behind The Bounty Hunter. It's nothing I need to watch really 100 times. I think I've seen it 2 or 3 times in my life. If it's on, I'll watch it. It's nothing over the top great. Up next is Fools Rush In with Matthew Perry and Selma Hayek. When I saw this movie for the first time, totally shocked, because I didn't know that these two worked together. This is a good movie. Actually. It's not like S tier, but it's a good movie. You should watch Fools Rush In. I would put this in B tier in front of behind A Lot Like Love, in front of Everything. It's genuinely a good movie. I enjoy it a lot. And I really do like some of Matthew Perry's movies from that post-Friends era. He really did have a couple good years in there. And I think there's another one in here, maybe? Am I wrong? There is. It's later on in this video, though. Up next is Forgetting Sarah Marshall. This is a big movie. I'm putting this in S tier at the bottom as of right now. I grew up with this movie. One of the funniest rom-coms, I think. It came out in 2009? So I was 10 years old. It was there. And so I watched it, I love this movie. I'm actually watching it tonight. So that's awesome. Well, maybe tomorrow night. Tonight's the Super Bowl, as of when I'm recording this. Go Chiefs. Even though I'm an Eagles fan, I want Andy Reid to get another ring. If the Eagles couldn't do it, I'm glad Andy Reid could. But up next is Friends with Benefits. This is I'm not the biggest fan. I would put it in B tier in front of Dirty Dancing, behind Aloha. It's what's his name? Justin Timberlake and Mila Kunis. It's good. They're a good fit together. It's just not my favorite movie. But it's good. Up next, we've got Garden State, and I hate to do this because I like both of these actor and actress that are in this movie, but this is not a good movie. It's not. I'm putting this behind Elizabethtown in C tier. I don't like Garden State that much. Really. Up next is Guess Who? Bernie Mac is phenomenal in this movie. We have Ashton Kutcher. This is genuinely an A tier rom-com for me. I'm putting this in front of 13 Going on 30. I have never seen this movie until this past year, and Bernie Mac is so good in this movie. It's hysterical. I love it. I absolutely love it. Up next is The Holiday, and this for me is an S tier movie in front of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I've watched this movie every year for the last 7 years. We've got Jude Law, Kate Winslet, Jack Black, and Cameron Diaz. It's just a really, really cute movie. You can watch it. It's like a Christmas, New Year's type of movie. I always watched it right after Christmas, right before the New Year's, and it's just a really good. It hits that sweet spot. It's genuinely both a romantic movie with comedy in it, very sweet interactions. It's really genuinely a great movie, and a movie that I feel like a lot of people forget about, even though it's really, really good. Honeymoon in Vegas with I almost said Jack Nicholson, with Nicolas Cage. This is a good movie. My mother showed this to me when I was younger. I was probably 11 the first time I watched it. I would put this in A tier personally. in front of Along Came Polly. It's not better than 13 going on 30, but it's definitely a fun time. And it's a movie that I can watch over and over again and not get too bored with, just because there's so much going on. How do you know? This is what, Reese Witherspoon and Owen Wilson. It's super forgettable, and I'm putting it at the bottom of D tier. Just because I genuinely, the name of the movie, how do you know? How do I know what? How do I know how good the movie is? I don't know. I've watched it. I still don't know. I still don't know. Because it's just forgettable. That's flat out it. If you want to watch a movie for 90 minutes and forget it ever happened, watch How Do You Know? It's like a flash of amnesia, and you're back 90 minutes later. I literally can't get through it. I don't know. Anyways, up next is Hitch. This is Will Smith and Kevin James. I remember buying this DVD that I own from FYE when I was like 13 years old. It's not an S tier movie, but it is an A tier in front of 13 going on 30, behind Guess Who. Hitch is genuinely a great movie. Will Smith plays Hitch, and he's basically trying to get Kevin James a date with this girl who he finds attractive. And it's a good time. He's just trying to find him a date, you know? I Love You, Beth Cooper. I remember when this first came out, it was like a Blockbuster exclusive DVD when it first dropped on DVD, and I have that. I have a Blockbuster exclusive that I bought from like a yard sale. It's not a great movie, but it's not terrible. It's very late to, or mid to late 2000s. I would put it in B tier in front of Friends with Benefits because I enjoy it, but it's not great. After that, we've got Intolerable Cruelty, and I'm not a big fan of this. It's Catherine Zeta-Jones and George Clooney, you know, two beautiful actor and actresses. You're gonna watch the movie because of that. You put two handsome-looking people together, and you've got yourself a movie. I'm gonna put this though at the end of B tier, in front of 1 Mile to You. Not my favorite, but it's a good movie. It's complicated with Meryl Streep, Alec Baldwin, Steve Martin is in there. It is complicated, but it's a good movie as well. I'll go ahead and slide It's Complicated into A tier in front of Dear John. Definitely my cup of tea. I really enjoy Meryl Streep and Steve Martin in this movie together. They go off of one another. Steve Martin, I feel, works really well with anybody. But it's definitely an enjoyable movie. Up next is Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler in Just Go With It. One of my less favorite Adam Sandler movies. I think my favorite character in this is the little girl who pretends she's British. And it's still not a terrible movie, but I would put it in B tier behind Blended. I enjoy Blended more than I enjoy Just Go With It. I also just like Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler together more than I like Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler together. Just Like Heaven. This is Reese Witherspoon and Mark Ruffalo. You heard me right, Mark Ruffalo, my least favorite guy on the planet. Nonetheless, the movie is not bad. I would put it in B tier behind Dirty Dancing. It's not a terrible movie, but it's not great, you know? Is that the hatred for Mark Ruffalo showing? Probably, but whatever. Up next is The Last Song. I can't get into this movie. I've watched it twice and cannot enjoy it. So for that, I'm putting it in F tier in front of All About Steve. I genuinely cannot get into it. I don't know why, but I can't. Up next on our list is Life as We Know It, and this is a mid-movie, really. It's not special to me, personally. I'd put it at the top of C tier. I enjoy it more than Clueless, but I don't think it's worth being in B tier. It's just forgettable, you know? Up next is one of my favorite movies of all time. If you've never seen it, watch it. Little Manhattan. Guys, this is little baby Josh Hutcherson. Oh my god. One of my, like, we're talking S tier. It's going in front of The Fault in Our Stars. So this movie came out when I was a little kid. When did it come out? '06. So I was like 7 years old. And it's about these two 10-year-olds who live in New York City. Hutchison's character, his parents are going through a divorce but still live with one another. He falls in love with this girl who wasn't the prettiest in his grade, or the second prettiest, but the third prettiest, and her name is Rosemary Telesco, and it's got some great music in it. It's got some great scenes in it. It really does a good job of showing young love, and I just remember being like 8 years old watching it and being like, ooh, you know, like a stupid little kid. And rewatching it even now as an adult, I like remember watching it as a kid for the first time, and I'm just like, man, this is a good movie. And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, damn, like they really did a good job with it too, because they give you just enough of the parents' lives as well that the adults that obviously watched the movie with their kid also enjoyed it. So it was genuinely such a good movie, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people are going to disagree, but Little Manhattan is one of my favorites of all time, and so I'm keeping it in S tier. The lucky one, this has, I don't remember her name. It's the girl that plays Piper, I think, in Orange is the New Black, and then it's Zac Efron. And honestly, I love me some Zac, but I can't see her outside of prison dressings, I guess, or what are they, scrubs? I don't know, cause she's known for that show, and so it was really weird seeing her outside of that. I would put the lucky one, nonetheless, behind Aloha in B tier, cause it's still a good movie, but it's just awkward because it's like, I don't know. It's still a good movie. Check it out. It's, what's his name wrote the book? Nicholas Sparks. He also wrote The Notebook, and what is it? Like Nights in Rodanthe, I think, is another one he wrote. He writes a lot of stuff that gets made into movies. Up next is Mamma Mia. This is a good movie. This is an S tier movie. I'll put this at the bottom of S tier. Mamma Mia, banger movie, great songs. I love me a musical that is genuinely great, and I just think Mamma Mia has some of the best songs there is. Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, the sequel, not so much. Not so much. It's C tier. I'll put it behind Every Day. Ah. They kind of just do the same songs. The story doesn't really matter, really. Nah, it doesn't matter. It's not a great movie. Up next is My Boss's Daughter. This is a bad one. It's not great, but it's not. I put it top of D tier. Yeah, it's just one of those bad Ashton Kutcher mid-2000s comedy movies. There's a ton of them, even just in this. I mean, there's My Boss's Daughter. There was A Lot Like Love, has him in it. Where's A Lot Like Love? Has Ashton Kutcher. What other Ashton Kutcher movies just in here are there? Guess Who? It's like there's a ton of them in the early 2000s, and as time went on, some of them were just stinkers. There might even be more in this video specifically. Is there? I don't think so. We might have escaped from his clutches one more time. I think we got lucky. But up next is Never Been Kissed, which is Drew Barrymore. And it's an alright movie. I'd put it in B tier in front of 5 Feet Apart. It's not over the top great. The ending gives me pure fucking anxiety. Because she's like in the middle of a baseball diamond or some shit waiting for the guy to kiss her. And it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, could you imagine being in front of a whole crowd of people waiting to be kissed for the first time ever? That's so weird, dude. Like, I don't know. That's just me. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. I feel like the music in this movie is better than the movie. I'm putting this in C tier, behind The Bounty Hunter. I just don't care for it. It's not my favorite movie ever. Then there's The Notebook. Here we go. The one everybody's been waiting for. Here we are. What do I think of The Notebook? Alright, moving on. Notting Hill. No, I'm fucking with you. Not F tier, but I'm not a big fan. But I won't deny how good it is either. I'll put it in A tier. In front of Dear John. But I will not put it any higher. I don't love the movie, but I refuse to deny how good it is, even though it's not my cup of tea. Up next is Notting Hill, which I actually just saw for the first time ever. Great friggin' movie. Holy crap. I enjoy this one way more than The Notebook. I would put this top of A tier. I wouldn't go putting it in S tier, but genuinely one of the best that there is. The Princess Bride. This is a good one. This is more fantasy and adventure than romance, in my opinion. But still, nonetheless, it's a good movie. I would watch it over The Lucky One, not Aloha. So I'd put it in B tier, behind Aloha. The Proposal. Just watched this last night with the family. The Proposal is one of the best there is. I'm putting it... Jeez, can I get it there? S tier. Oh no, S tier. I'm trying to get it in front of Little Manhattan. God damn it. S tier in front of Little Manhattan. This might be one of the best movies in the world. Alright? Ryan Reynolds. Sandra Bullock. Okay? And get this. Betty fucking White. Oh my God. Oh my God. Betty White in this movie is the best thing about this movie. I mean, holy shit. Last night, I'm watching this movie, and I have not seen The Proposal in probably 10 years. And I'm watching it, and I completely forget how incredible she is in that movie. I literally looked to my mother, and I was like, this woman really had no idea just how loved she was. Like, truly, she wasn't the main characters, but she was the best character. She was fantastic. She played Ryan Reynolds' grandmother. Incredible movie. S tier. Nothing's going in front of it. Nothing. Up next is P.S. I Love You. Guess what? P.S. You're F tier. I hate it. I can't stand it. Do not like the movie. Up next is Remember Me. If you've never seen it before, it's alright. It's worth watching, but I'd put it in C tier in front of everything. And if you've seen it, people are like, oh, that ending is like, whoa, it's like so out of fucking place, it makes no sense. I don't get, like, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, it just, don't do that. Up next is Rumor Has It, and it's like, Rumor Has It, I don't remember what you're about, even though I've watched you, so I'll put you at the bottom of D tier, just like How Do You Know. That's how you know it's forgettable. Not to mention fucking Mark Ruffalo is in it. Hate him. So, up next is Sabrina with Harrison Ford. This is actually a good movie. Was not expecting to love it, but I do. I'd put this in B tier, behind Aloha, in front of The Princess Bride. It's worth watching at least once. And I've heard at least one person say it's their favorite movie of all time, just because she said her and her father used to watch it together when she was a little girl. So at least one person loves that movie the most out of any other movie. So I think that's pretty cool to know, because it's not a movie that I really know about a whole lot, or I feel like not many people do. Especially if they're my age, you know what I mean? If you're older than me and you were around when it came out, that makes sense. But up next is Safe Haven. This is another Nicholas Sparks book gone to a movie, and I actually have the book in the back of my room here on the bookshelves. I love the book. I love the movie. Safe Haven is an A-tier movie. I will put it in front of Crazy Rich Asians, behind the About Last Night movies. It is, I enjoy it. I don't know what it is about it, but I read the book first. I got the book from not Dollar Tree, Salvation Army for like 50 cents. Read the hell out of the book, watched the movie. I was like, damn, okay, great stuff. A tier. Up next is Say Anything. This has John Cusack in it. And obviously it's the movie where he raises the boom box trying to get the girl, you know what I mean, to swoon her. This has been done a million times through movies and TV shows and stuff like that. But this is where it started, was Say Anything. And it's not my favorite. I would put this in B tier, behind the Duff. Can I get it behind the Duff? There we go. Behind the Duff. It's not my favorite. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is S tier, and we're putting it... Ooh, where are we putting it in S tier? Behind 50 First Dates? Yeah, that's where it's gotta go. I can't do that to 50 First Dates. I can't do that dirty. It's a classic. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of my favorite romantic comedic movies. I love that it's obviously like a video game built around it, comic booky, like it's awesome. The casting is great. Fantastic movie. If you've never seen it, go watch it. I don't know where it is available at, streaming wise. I have the Blu-ray, but great movie. Just watched it today. And it's like a 9 out of 10. There's little things that I don't like about it that didn't give it the 10 out of 10 stars, but 9 out of 10 is goddamn great, and it's S tier worthy. Up next is Matthew Perry in the movie Serving Sarah. Who is that? Elizabeth Hurley? Yeah, I think that's Elizabeth Hurley. It's alright. It's alright. It's not as good as the Fools Rush In movie, but I feel like it's B tier, in front of 5 Feet Apart, behind Never Been Kissed. It's an alright time. Up next is Shallow Hal, which gets so much hate anymore. It's Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow. And Jack Black is a really like douchebag guy who judges women. He's super like judgmental, and he only wants the best of the best women. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this man's shooting for 10s while he's a 5, you know? That's kind of what the movie's saying to him. And basically, he gets mind tricked into, you know, finding the love of his life, and just thinking everyone is beautiful. And throughout the movie, he dates this girl who's played by Gwyneth Paltrow, who he thinks is this most beautiful girl in the world, and he, falls in love with her as the person that she is, and then the mind trick gets worn off, and it's revealed that she's this very large girl. She's overweight, but it's like, and it's for Jack Black's character to have been this really like uh, rude guy that never would have looked her way, realizes, oh my God, even though she doesn't look like I thought she looked, she's still this great human being. And so it's a little twisted, but it's a good movie nonetheless. Um, with that being said, it's not my favorite. I would still put it in C tier before Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, just because I do like the movie. It's just not the greatest in my opinion. I have it on DVD. I think I've watched it twice ever. I think Gwyneth Paltrow like denounces ever having worked on the movie, which I think is stupid, but it's a fun time. You watch it once, you enjoy it, you go away. Up next is She's All That. This is a good movie. She's All That. I would put this in A tier as well. I'll put it behind Notting Hill, in front of About Last Night. She's All That is a great movie. I genuinely enjoy this movie. I heard Netflix made an He's All That a couple years ago. I'm never watching that, but apparently, I think Matthew Lillard is in that though, and he's in She's All That. I think he plays like the principal in the He's All That movie, something like that. I remember hearing about. Up next is She's Out of My League. This is the only one I remember is Jay Baruchel in this movie. I can't remember anyone else in this movie. And yeah, he dates a girl that's out of his league. Wow. It's too good to be true. It's C tier. I'll put it behind Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. It's not my favorite movie. It's forgettable. Up next is She's the Man. This movie is great. I won't put it in S tier, but I'll gladly put it in A tier in front of She's All That. I genuinely enjoy it that much. This is Channing Tatum and Amanda Bynes. Basically, Amanda Bynes goes to what is it? I can't remember if it's college or if it's like an away school, like an away high school. But she pretends to be a boy, to be on the soccer team, just to prove that a girl can do just as good as the guys, and she's like the best on the team. And then it's revealed she's a girl, and it's all this whole thing. Up next is Silver Linings Playbook, and this is Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence. I can't remember if De Niro is in this. Is he? I think he might play the father of Bradley Cooper. It's forgettable in my opinion. I would put it in C tier, behind Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. And even though they're Philadelphia Eagles fans in that movie, I just don't care for it. Watched it twice, never got into it. Up next is 16 Candles. This is a classic that I think is a little mid and a little just a smidge racist. Just a smidge. That being said, it's still B tier. I would put it in B tier in front of Just Go With It, but behind Blended. Then we get Sleepless in Seattle, which is a movie that a lot of people love. A lot of people would say S tier, when in fact this movie is bad. C tier, behind Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. I'd rather watch Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again than Sleepless in Seattle, and you can't tell me I'm wrong or to rewatch the movie because I just watched it last night. So this movie, I just can't get into it. Can't do it. If I'm going to watch a Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan movie, it's going to be you've got mail. So that's all I'm going to say. It's coming up at the end of this video. So yeah. So I Married an Axe Murderer, Mike Myers. This is a great movie. I love this movie. I would put this in A tier behind Hitch. Such a great romantic comedy. Genuinely enjoy it. Something Borrowed, F tier, the worst one there is. Can't stand it. Wasted $5 buying this on Blu-ray years ago. Cannot get into it. Up next is A Star Is Born. This is the Bradley Cooper and what is it, Lady Gaga version. It's good. It's A tier. In fact, it's A tier in front of everything except for three things, which is Notting Hill, She's the Man, and She's All That. Star Is Born, 4th place in A tier. Up next, we've got John Cusack in The Sure Thing. I watched this for the first time a couple months ago. Genuinely love this movie. Very good movie. John Cusack is in college, and he likes this girl who's a little uptight. She turns him down. His friend who goes to college all the way in California tells him, hey man, come here. There's this beautiful babe. She's the sure thing. Like, you're gonna get laid, you know? And so he goes there using Share a Ride with other people from California to get across the country for free on spring break or whatever. And this girl who has a boyfriend over there also goes there. And they end up fighting in the car on the road trip, and the people that were in charge of the car kick them out, and they work together to get across country, and they end up falling for one another. And it's a very, very great movie. If you've never seen it, watch it. Even though, I mean, everything I told you, it's obvious it was going to happen, but the way things happen is great. I would put this in A tier, in front of 13 going on 30. I genuinely enjoyed it. Sweet Home Alabama, not my favorite. I'll put this in C tier, in front of 500 Days of Summer, behind Bridget Jones's Diary. It's not great. The Breakup, this is Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston. This one's all right. I'll put this in B tier, I'll put it in front of Never Been Kissed in B tier. I'll do it that much. Up next is The Lake House. Great movie. Sandra Bullock, Keanu Reeves. Fantastic movie. I'll put this one in A tier, in front of Hitch, but behind Guess Who. Then we've got The Ugly Truth, and The Ugly Truth is, I don't remember much about this movie, all right? That's The Ugly Truth. I'll put this in C tier, in front of Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, because I remember enough about the movie to know I do not hate it more than Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, it's like everything in front of it is still genuinely rewatchable, and then everything behind it, it's like, I don't need to rewatch it, you know? So Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist is that cutoff in C tier where it's like, I don't care if I ever watch that shit again. Up next is Valentine's Day. This has everybody and their mother in it. This movie has Ashton Kutcher and Taylor Swift. Who would have thought? And like literally 70 other fucking people. And I enjoy it. I enjoy this movie. I would put it in A tier, in front of The Notebook. Just because I don't love The Notebook all that much. I would watch Valentine's Day over The Notebook for sure. Up next is The Wedding Singer. It's S tier, guys. The Wedding Singer is S tier. I'll put The Wedding Singer in front of Mamma Mia in S tier. fantastic movie. It's another Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore. 2 of the 3 made it to S tier. The other one was in B tier. All right? They are fantastic together. I absolutely love them. Up next is What If? I love this movie. I love Daniel Radcliffe. It's a great movie. With that being said, I would put this... I would put this in A tier in front of Blue Valentine. Very bottom of A tier for the most part. When Harry Met Sally is S tier. I would probably put it... Oh, man, because it's such a damn good movie. I'll put it in front of The Fault in Our Stars. When Harry Met Sally, it is there. It is up there. Oh, my God. While You Were Sleeping, another great one. Bill Pullman, Sandra Bullock, S-tier movie. It's going up there. In front of The Fault in Our Stars, behind When Harry Met Sally, S-tier. And You've Got Mail, Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan. Way better than stupid Sleepless in Seattle, C-tier looking ass. You've Got Mail is, in my opinion, an A-tier movie I'll gladly watch any day. I'll put it in front of Safe Haven. So there we go. That is 93 movies. Romance, romantic comedies, all ranked from S to F tier in the order in which I think that they deserve. Whether or not you agree is totally up to you. Let me know what you guys think is your favorite movie out of all 93 that were here. And what is your least favorite movie? And do you think that I'm wrong for putting any of these movies as low as I did? Is the F tier movies worth being better than F tier? Are the D movies worth being higher than D tier? Should Sleepless in Seattle be higher? Should Bridget Jones' Diary be higher? Let me know that type of stuff in the comments. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys are doing. I hope y'all have a great Valentine's Day with the ones you love, whether that's a significant other or if it's just family or friends. So thank you guys. I've been gone a little while. I've been sick. You can kind of hear it in the voice. I was sick for like 2.5, 3 weeks. I've been drinking liquids just to keep my voice from going in and out. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I did. I enjoyed doing this, and I enjoyed watching a lot of these movies before making this video. Genuinely love these movies that are in S tier, guys. If you've never seen the ones that are in S tier, at the very least, watch those ones. They are phenomenal movies. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Please go ahead and leave a like down below. Helps out the channel. And like I said, comment. What is your favorite? What's your least favorite? What do you think of the video? And if you want more stuff like this in the future, I promise my voice won't be like this forever where it goes hoarse over time. So please subscribe to the channel if you want more stuff just like this. Obviously looking forward to do more in the future. I love the Tiermaker videos I do on the channel. I have a ton of them. So if you want to watch more, go ahead, click to the channel. I have a whole playlist for them. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.